Yeah man, Supper Purples, my name is Plus Beats. Let's have us a look at the Polyend Play. Polyend Play, the famous brother of Polyend Tracker. Same sexy paper-sized figure as his brother, but with a completely different workflow. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not much of a step sequencer guy, but this is a lot of fun to play around with, and it is very hands-on and intuitive. At first glance, it's a little bit confusing, but once you get up and running, you realize that they really have put a lot of thought into everything being within arm's reach. It's very surface level and quick to work with. It is also sample based, but you cannot sample straight into it, so you need to do some pre-work, loading up some samples on a micro SD card, and it does come with a whole bunch of sample packs preloaded. This here is really where you're going to do all of your menu operations. Clicking this knob will bring up the menu, go into samples, either load a whole sample pack right there, or load files and folders, and start stashing this son of a bitch up with the samples that you want to use. I already have a few drums loaded. I'm going to load up some percussion from the Game Man sound kit. And right above this beautifully tactile mechanical button, it says load wave. So we're going to press that, and you see here that it wants you to select the sample folder. I already have available X-ray and creator curva. Let's make a new one, and you'll be greeted by this Wirtual keyboard, you could say, in a sense, which is very intuitive also because you have these light signals indicating where the buttons that you see on the screen are. So if you know how to type, you can easily write your first name. Well, that was a big fail, but you don't even need to think about that really, because we have this auto name function, which is probably the best thing about the Polyend Play all in all. Just keep pressing it until you find something that really resonates with your soul. Oh my god, I missed a really good one. Agreement drink. I'll just take some inspiration from that. Okay, confirm. We have that loaded up. Now if you want to see your samples, you can just go into the main menu, press samples, and view your sample pool. Inside of Agreement Drink, we'll have our percussion sounds. Previewing samples, just push the button down. Now we can use these anywhere. So I'm going to start off with this hard style kick. Now this is where you edit all the parameters, and it is pretty clearly laid out. There's two functions for every knob, and that's it pretty much most of the time. Well, it is. Now let's say I wanted to reach out and move this second kick right here. All I need to do is hold it down and then just twist this move knob. It does also, you can like lightly tap it and get at the secondary function there, but it gets a little bit jittery. Honestly, I recommend that you just use these right here instead, because these two buttons will switch between the two different functions that each knob has. So if I choose move here, that's going to move it whole steps, but I just want to micro move it, just nudge it back a little bit. And do the same for that one. So this is very useful if you want maximum control of your swing. There is also a full track swing. Each one of these rows is its own track, and it can contain different samples. So this is not necessarily tied to the kick sample that we have on it right now. We could put a clave there. And now we can also perform operations on the whole track. You see, these four columns here are mute, solo, variation, and select, and they correspond to the row. So this track right here, I want to mute that. It's muted. I want to solo it, solo it. We can also select all of them at the same time. And we'll choose this track swing here and apply swing to all of these sounds. So knowing only that, there's already a lot we can do. All we need to do is look here and say like, okay, volume. Let's turn this clave down a little bit. Turn the second one up a little bit, but not as much. Now they have different volumes. Selecting this track, it doesn't necessarily need to be 16 steps neither. You can go anywhere from 1 step up to 64. And they're all independent from each other. So you could have this looping over 4 bars and have this one just be looping 1 bar, etc. Let's keep adding stuff on the second track. And the way you do that is you would select another sample from up here. So if I just slightly touch this one, it's going to activate the sample selection menu. We can pick a folder of one of the folders that we've sorted our loaded samples into: available X-ray, creator curva, or agreement drink. We already have the clave in there, but let's go with a snare, which I believe is in here in available X-ray. So I'll hit sample, and I want to go with that one. And I can paint this as much as I want. All right, I'm not going to touch that for now, but let's add some hi-hats as well. Hold that down, and see, this is why I don't like to use this knob for the actual selection, because you easily mess things up and select the wrong thing. It's a little bit jittery. So it's better to just use these ones. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. I only spent a couple of days with this so far, and I'm not a manual reader. Select the hi-hat, and now that is going to be selected. Quick little info tip here. Let's say I wanted to add another clave over here or something, and I don't feel like selecting it again. It's very easy to copy samples by just holding it down. Voilance, that's it. It's the step sequencing music. It just comes out different. I'm going to go with this coffee break again. And now it's going to be, since that's the last sample I selected, I believe that's how it works. That's the one we're painting with. Let me show you another function now. Let's just fill this whole motherfucker up. Now that's very annoying, very intense on the eardrums. Let's select the whole track there and do either chance or randomize here. Let's say 70% chance. This is going to come out different every time now. And let's do random sample start. All right, nice. I do like that you can instantly change the sample start and the sample end right from here. I mean, it's not like chopping up break beats and chopping up samples and things like that. It's a little bit cumbersome on this device. It's not really tailored for it, but you can do shit like this. And we can also randomize. Say I want to randomize the volume a little bit. Uh-oh. All right, that's very random now. Now the same thing goes for effects. Everything is per step. So if you hold this down, twist the filter cutoff, it will apply to just that one step. And then let's do some reverb send. If we select all of them now, it's going to be relative. So we're not changing all of them to a fixed value now. It's actually relative to the percentage we've already set it to. So it's going to be X amount of extra percent on all of these samples, all of these steps. Pretty cool, pretty intuitive, pretty fast. Another quick tip, shift, undo. The undo is there. I didn't find it for whole first day. It's just shift, undo. I was about to put that down as a con. No undo. That's what you get when you don't read the manual. Got to be professional, you know what I'm saying? It's not a deep dive video, but I just want to let you know real quick that you can switch out the reverb and the delay types. There are a couple of different views as well. Hitting view once, this is going to give you playable keyboard, and these 4 will be your octaves. And you can actually do live rec as well. If you select a track you want to record to, I'm not sure if you need to do that, but I think so. Go into the view. Hang on now. This will also record the automation of these parameters in real time. Overdrive. fun. It sounds like shit, but it's fun. All right, what else we got? Let's make a melody. When it comes to melodies, let's use a new track for that. Creator Kurva is where I put my melodic samples at. Now, as I showed you, you can use the second view. And it's sort of like a vertical piano roll, if you see it. But we also have an actual piano roll. If you hold it down, well, first you need to select the track. We're going to do it on this track. Hold view down. Now we have a piano roll. You can scroll up and down using the main knob. And I want to make 2 bars there. This had me bugging for quite some time. Again, got to read the manual. Where's my second bar? Hold down shift and you'll see it right there. Unfortunately from in here you can't use this for the filter cutoff, I think. And you can also do chords with it by selecting multiple tracks. This will take up this real estate. If I want to use 3 notes for a chord, I will be using all 3 of these tracks, but you could do it very quickly by doing that and going into the piano roll, etc. Now this is very loud. I want to take this moment here to introduce to you the idea of no global mixer, so to speak. Right here, we could either just change the volume of these individual steps or all of them at the same time, or one after the other. So if you have a certain pattern of velocities or volumes that you want to play the samples back at, you could set that up and then use the select function to bring the relative volume of all of them down. But that's just how it works. It's very modular like that. Now that we have a few tracks, we can mute all of them like that. Perform the whole thing. And now here comes the next level, which is one of the most fun things about it, the perform mode. Well, look at all these colors right here. We have the motherfucking rainbow in front of us, and all of these correspond to different effects. Pretty much the parameters that you see up here: tune, filter, overdrive, rearrange, which is going to shuffle the whole thing up, repeat, delay, reverb, loop, and then you have direct access to your mute and solo and all of that. And all of these have different presets pretty much, and you can do multiple at the same time. Pay attention now as I do this. I'm just going to do some random shit, but if you tap it like this, it's going to lock in and toggle. If you hold it down and let it go, it's just temporary, you know what I'm saying? The effects will be applied to the selected track. As you can see, potentially once you're familiar with this palette right here, you can do some crazy drops. It's not a very good demo. I'm new to this, but I think it's a rather ingenious layout. A lot of fun. Save it first. Lowly Minister. Bless Beats. All right, I'm going to load up my other masterpiece, Godly Coal. And on a final note, I'm just scratching the surface here, but you can in fact have more than just one pattern on it. Once I feel like, hey, I'm happy with this pattern, I'm ready to advance. Can I switch it up a little bit? all you need to do is hit patterns up here. Hold it down. All of these are slots for patterns, so you can just hold it down in the same way that you copy sample steps. Copy it to another one, and now we can go over to this one and start messing about with it without really having to worry about fucking the original pattern up. It is a little bit easy in the beginning to do so because you'll be, you know, touching knobs by accident and switching the repeat grid instead of whatever you intended to do. You get used to it. So whether it's just for backups or, you know, creating a whole arrangement, there's a lot of pattern slots to work with per project. And from in here, you can go into the perform mode too. Most useful in the world for me? Not so much. Extremely fun? Yes, so much. Okay, bye-bye.